200 years ago, we tried to improve the species through DNA resequencing. And what did we get for our trouble? The eugenics wars. For every Julian Bashir that can be created, there's a Khan Singh waiting in the wings. A superhuman whose ambition and thirst for power have been enhanced along with his intellect. The law against genetic engineering provides a firewall against such men. And it's my job to keep that firewall intact.
How's it going out there, everyone? W.F.S, your doctor here today, and I have a question for you. Genetic manipulation, or altering someone's DNA, should it be illegal? I mean, after all, we do have people like Doctor Bashir who have been altered because he had a learning disability as a little boy, and his mom and dad didn't like to see him struggling, so they took him to a specialist who illegally altered his genome to enhance him and make him more intellectual. That got him into a lot of trouble. In the episode, Dr. Bashir, I presume, from season 5. Now, of course, there are other characters out there who, through genetic manipulation, became somewhat of a warlord. Khan's people are a clear example of why genetic manipulation, or augments, became quite illegal in the Federation, because they became powerful, they became quite arrogant and full of themselves, and decided to take over the world. At least tried to, anyway. But now that we know that the augments are now illegal, the question needs to be asked, what about other ways of manipulating people? Should they be allowed to remain in Starfleet or have any type of interaction with the Federation after some kind of genetic manipulation or some kind of contact that's allowed them to have special abilities? Well, right about now, you're probably wondering, why am I going on about this? Can we get to the point? Well, comicbook.com has this new article out. New Star Trek show finally completes the redemption of the next generation's most hated character. And can you guess who I'm talking about?
But shut up, Wesley.
Shut up, Wesley?
That's right, everyone. Everyone's favorite little know-it-all. Well, let's be honest about it. A lot of people can't stand the character, Wesley Crusher, because no matter how much trouble the ship was in, it always seemed like he had the answers to all the problems. And a lot of people felt like his promotion was just not earned. He just came across, and I know that Will Wheaton says the character wasn't meant to be that way, but the character came across as being so obnoxiously knowing it all. Okay, so for all of you Wesley Crusher fans out there, I want to make it very clear that I'm not here to attack him. The character himself was okay. I mean, I just think there was a lot of poor choices made to the character along the way. But here is where I have to ask some questions. At the end of his run in Star Trek The Next Generation, the 7th season, in the last episode that Wesley was in, Journey's End, he apparently is going through some kind of a crisis where he doesn't want to be part of Starfleet anymore. He feels like there's something missing in his life. And eventually he winds up on this planet where the Enterprise is trying to deal with Indians. You got that Native American Indians are on this planet, and they're battling the Cardassians because they're inside the Cardassian border. Anyway, Wesley is able to, through some ability he has developed over the years, to pull himself at a time where the Traveler finally appears to him and starts telling him about, oh, I've been waiting all this time for you to show this ability. I know you've had this ability. I've just helped you to reach it faster than you should have. Question here is, since the Traveler has been manipulating Wesley throughout this episode, is that kind of an augmentation of sorts? I mean, he is, and he even admitted, he helped push Wesley to this point where he was able to pull himself out of time. So does that mean that the Traveler has manipulated Wesley and And now that Wesley has this ability, he's become somewhat of an augment himself. He's no longer human. He has abilities that no one seems to have on anyone else, at least not according to Star Trek. No one else has encountered this type of ability before. Yet the Traveler even admitted a long time ago that people like him are a rarity. It's a question that I have because, again, augmentation is forbidden inside the Federation, right? Because they're afraid of people who may become another Khan. But when you think about that policy that there's augmentations are illegal and they're not allowed inside Starfleet, explain this. My apologies for not being able to blow up this screen any bigger than what I have in front of you, but if you were able to look at the far left screen, you'll see Lieutenant Junior Grade Wesley Crusher. This was a clip from the new Starfleet Academy where they were promoting some of the greatest heroes inside the Starfleet. And Lieutenant Junior Grade Wesley Crusher was introduced in this list.
I'm Wesley Crusher, and I've been waiting for you.
Apparently somewhere in the 24th century, Wesley Crusher returns to Starfleet and becomes a lieutenant junior grade officer. Really? How'd that even happen? So the Traveler has, in some ways, manipulated Wesley, altered him, so he's now able to travel through time, and apparently he is somewhat of an immortal, and yet is able to go back to Starfleet some years later and become a lieutenant junior grade and help the Protostar crew. So if we're going to talk about genetic manipulation, Wesley is one person we can talk about, but let's talk about Sisko for a second. If you want to talk about a clear example of the augmentation policy and how it was not followed, look at Captain Sisko. Here's a person who was manipulated before he was even conceived. The prophets entered Sarah and had her fall in love with Sisko's dad and created Benjamin. He is a clear example of an augment. He was manipulated, genetically manipulated right from the get-go. Think about this for a moment. When Dukat allowed the Pa race to enter the Celestial Temple, Benjamin was cut off from the prophets, and he started getting sick because of the disconnect that he was no longer in tune or speaking with the prophets.
Sisko has been cut off from the prophets as well, and without the prophets, he's just another Starfleet captain.
I agree. Somehow, releasing that power wraith into the wormhole has shifted the momentum of the war into our favor.
Now, for a long time now, people have been speculating about the return of Captain Sisko, and even Starfleet Academy is pushing the idea of a possible return in their series. Heck, even IDW Comic was promoting that Sisko did return because something was killing off the gods, and the prophets needed Sisko to return to help save them. The question still needs to be asked. The fact that this man and Wesley, and possibly others like them, have these special abilities given to them by aliens, isn't that a form of genetic manipulation, augmentation? And if that is the case, is Starfleet violating its own policies by allowing these people into power? Again, Sisko, everyone found out that he was the he was the son of the prophets at the beginning of the 7th season, yet they still allowed him to keep his commission. They allowed Doctor Bashir to keep his commission. They apparently were giving Wesley Crusher a promotion to lieutenant junior grade. So this augmentation policy does have exceptions, obviously. But it's just something worth interesting to talk about, don't you think?
When will you be back?
It's hard to say.
Okay, so now that we've had a brief discussion about comicbook.com and their belief that Wesley Crusher had a long overdue promotion after 35 years, I still think I'm onto something here when I'm talking about the augmentation rules. It's wrong when humans manipulate the genetic code of other humans to enhance their abilities, but it is perfectly right in some occasions when it serves Starfleet's best interest. Sisko, Wesley, Dr. Bashir. Genetic manipulation is illegal. And the Starfleet admiral who tried Bashir's parents simply said it the best way possible. If we let this go, if we let your genetic manipulation go without any form of punishment, we are sending a message. And we cannot have anyone like another Khan Singh on our doorsteps. This is where I see stuff like this happening. Again, genetic manipulation. Sisko, his mother was a prophet who manipulated the whole life of Sisko and his abilities. Wesley was manipulated by the Traveler, and Bashir was manipulated by some doctor because his parents sent them to him. Anyway, I would love to hear your thoughts and comments on this, so please drop those comments below and let me know. Until the next time, my friends, God bless.